So when Bill asked me to talk in the live section, I was like, what am I going to talk about? So I decided to talk about my life and how it relates to coming up with this nonprofit called Gateway to Dreams and what it means. So tremendous Charlie Jones said, you will be the same person in 5 years you are today, except for the people that you meet and the books that you read. So that's actually, I brought some books because they have actually helped me on the journey to where I am with Gateway to Dreams. A little bit about my background. This will be shocking to some of the people that know me well, but I used to do taxes. Like, oh my God. And when I looked back at why did I do taxes, it was because I wanted to help people find these deductions that other people might not know about. Because I'm like, well, what about this? What about this? And I remember in my early days of tax preparation, my husband's grandparents had grandfather, James, he had a disability, and back in the 70s, I guess it was, there was this, do you remember, Dale, I'm looking at you because you did taxes, but there was this disability allowance that you could take. I don't know. Anyway, it was this thing that you could go back and redo taxes from previous years if somebody missed it. So that was why I liked doing taxes, not for sitting there and doing that. It was for finding something that helped people. I also was a real estate agent. Gosh, I had 2 little kids and I was running around showing houses, but what I liked about real estate especially was that first-time home buyer, the one that somebody told them, you can't buy a home until you have all of this money saved up. What I wanted to do was find the person who qualified for something back then, it was called MHDC money or FHA money, and if they qualified for a loan but didn't have the money, which meant they could really afford to live in the house, they just didn't have that lump sum to buy it, I wanted to figure out how we got them in there. So it tells you a little bit about how strange I am. I'm looking for the people that don't have money to help them get into their first home. While I was in real estate, I happened to catch a segment of the Phil Donahue show, and I'm not a TV watcher, so I always consider that things that I do that aren't normal, that God had me in this spot and in this place to see something. My husband was watching Phil Donahue back in the day, and they had a show about barter on. And I was just transfixed. I was like, oh my gosh, people could barter for things, and it sounded so cool. So I ended up calling the company that was featured and actually became part of the barter industry, and I was in the barter industry for about 20 years. And what barter did to my brain is it rewired it even more to be about possibilities, because I started, a company that had no marketing dollars. We were able to get them radio advertising. We were able to get them, just all kinds of things to help them run their business. Barter could also be used personally, but my passion was how do we help the business be better? And yeah, it was really cool to get a postcard from one of my clients. It was on a cruise one time saying that, in the first time 10 years, he was able to go on a cruise because of barter, and our company helped him. While I was in the barter industry, as anyone who's had employees or managed people, I found that that is my least favorite thing, is managing people. I have enough trouble managing myself, and managing people was just something that, truthfully, I found it really frustrating. I didn't know how to get people that aren't self-motivated to do things. And I didn't know Judy Ryan back in those days, so I couldn't call on her. But I did stumble across something toward the end of my barter world. I had this experience I'm very goal-oriented, so I ended up putting together a workshop for the employees over a holiday, like between Christmas and New Year's, not while they were on holiday, but while our clients were, we actually would scale back a little bit. And what I did was I really wanted them to tell the group, all the employees, what some of their dreams were. So we did this brainstorm thing, and people came up with their dreams, and I found out for one of my employees that, and this was one guy, I wanted to motivate him because people really liked him, but he would say, I want more money, but he wouldn't do the things to help bring more money. But if he got off half a day on Fridays, oh my God, he would do everything. Like that, he was an outdoor guy, did not like being inside. So for him, when he found out I would give him a half day off, he turned it up. Another woman had been a welfare mom. She wanted to buy a house. My husband and I bought our first house at 18 and 19 because I figured out how to do it with little or no money, helped get her in a house. And that was like, I don't know, like all of these things I'm telling you, I have no idea how I'm going to use them later, but they're just things that I was doing as I was in my career. While I was in the barter industry, I happened to meet a woman, and Karen Libby actually referenced the firm, the Impact Group, Laura Herring. Laura Herring would speak a lot around St. Louis back in the 80s, and I heard her speak at an RCGA meeting. At the RCGA meeting, she talked a lot about how to get free PR. Okay, I have this little barter company, I don't have a lot of money, how am I going to get free PR? And she started telling stories about how she had gotten PR and how that some small publications really need filler articles. And it ended up like another thing that happened in my brain was, oh my gosh, you don't have to have a lot of money to get PR. So I actually started getting a lot of PR and then fell in love with media and ended up starting my own publications, which I'm not a writer, not a graphic designer, but I had one magazine called Business Network that I did. Then I did this one called St. Charles Living. It came out quarterly. I did this one called Sports St. Louis. Was at Ozzy's retirement party when he retired. This was given away. They actually even had an autographed copy that a bunch of people signed and was auctioned off. It was media. I loved media. Now, what I was able to do was get these up. They would usually break even right in the beginning. And then I'd be like, oh my God, like now I got to manage those people. And then I had my barter company and I had 3 kids. And so this was about a 3-year run. Actually, this one, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in my 2nd year of that. And I kind of thought maybe God was saying, you're supposed to slow down. You're not supposed to stop, but you're supposed to slow down. So in 97, I was diagnosed with stage 3 ovarian cancer. My personality is one that when they said stage 3, I said, well, that's not bad out of 10. And he goes, it's out of 4. I said, well, it's not 4. So, but it caused me to like look at my life. Okay, like, so if I have a shorter window, what might I want to do? And I realized I really didn't want to stay in the barter industry anymore. I loved it. It was really, what I loved about it, every day was different. So I ended up taking a job when I said I didn't want to be in the barter industry. I didn't want to run my own barter company. But I was hired to be the executive director. I got to travel the world, Moscow, all that cool stuff. And I found out that a nonprofit could make money because when I took the job, they hadn't been making money. Our nonprofit had been around for about 20 years, and I helped them start this sponsorship program that we had 100,000 come in. We did all these cool things, our biggest attended convention. Now, I'm not going to share this part, but anyway, yes, I will. Okay, so when we got the new board in, the new board didn't like the way I looked as a heavy person, the president. He said, I want someone that looks more appropriate. So it didn't matter about the results. He said, you just don't look like an executive director. And if you work behind the scenes and, you know, like kind of hide yourself, we'll keep you. I decided I didn't want to be there anymore. If they didn't want me the way I was, you know, so I left. But then I didn't know what I wanted to be. I'd done barter for all these years, but I really was kind of tired of that. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. So I ended up starting a nonprofit with a bunch of girlfriends, Mary Kay Sheets and Linda Benz. And because of the experience with IRTA, the International Reciprocal Trade Association I've been with, it was like, oh my gosh, you can make money with nonprofits. You really can. So, you know, we ended up, our first meeting, we had about 100 people, and within 6 months, we had 100 paid members, and it was this great team. Nobody cared about what I looked like. They cared about what we were like. Like as a team, everybody focused on strengths and things, and it was really fun. In fact, Judy was on the board of our St. Louis chapter. We had St. Charles, St. Louis. So along this way, also, when I was traveling for IRTA, this book, I say books like God sends books my way. So this book, I don't read fiction really, and I'm in an airport and Pay It Forward kind of leaped into my hands. Oh my God, we could change the world if everybody really went out of their way to help 3 people in their lifetime do something significant. I ended up getting the author to come to St. Louis. We had her at our ESPW meeting, our gala. We had her at Washington University. We had her at the Family Arena in St. Charles County speaking to over, was it 5,000, Judy? Fourth grade kids, trying to help them see how like not bullying and helping everybody could be cool. So that was like, to me, a life-changing book that I still believe we could change the world, and part of Gateway to Dreams is about changing the world. Along the way, too, I had a meltdown. The guys might not know what a meltdown is, but a woman might know what a meltdown is. You start crying, and you're not like a really big crier, but you're crying, and I'm like, God, I'm driving on Highway 270, getting ready to go on 70 West. God, why did you make me this way? Why can't I be normal? Why can't I go out and get a job? Why did you make me this way? This woman I didn't know was coming to my house to show me her artwork. She walks in and she said, I haven't read this book, but I feel like I'm supposed to give it to you. I'm like, okay, She leaves, I start reading it, and it was like, oh my God, I yell at God, and he sends me a book. And in here, he talks about Bruce Wilkinson. He wrote The Prayer of Jabez. That everybody's born with dreams in them. Some of us don't go for our dreams. Some of us go for our dreams, and people that we love actually try to hold us back. It's because they love us, but they call it in the book border bullies. They keep you from going for your dreams. And in this book, it talked about a champion that helps people when they're stuck at a border. And when I read that, it was like a dream champion. That's why I have this creativity, why I love to find ways to help people, why I love the barter industry, because it helped people with their business dreams. So that book impacted my life. I didn't know what to do with it, though. It's like, okay, so I help people with their dreams. Back then, I called myself the idea coach. Laura Herring actually named me that, the woman from the Impact Group. The magazines, I was able to start magazines because of barter. And I also have something called City of Experts because I love to promote people. But this is about, in May of 2013, one of my girlfriends, some of you in the room may know her, Susie Tozier. She'd been waiting 2 years to get a space at Chesterfield Mall. Chesterfield Mall takes a certain amount of space that they allow nonprofits or artist kind of things that can create community, rent space real cheap. So Susie was going to do a bookstore cafe. I'm her girlfriend. I'm going with her for support. She's been diagnosed with breast cancer, but she's still going to do the store. Then one day she goes, she called this meeting with me and this guy, and she said, I can't do it. I'm going through the chemo. I can't do it. And she acts like she has a box in her hand. Oh, I forgot one piece. Let me back up. So that little workshop I did for the employees that helped me with the behavior that I really wanted to have my employees be more focused on things that they wanted so that if they met those goals, then it helped. That started something that ended up being called Joy of Goals, which I have been doing. I did it for ESPW, I don't remember how many years ago, and I've been doing it 8 or 9 years. I usually do it with Angela Lee. So Susie Tozier and I are talking about this space, and I don't care if she's not going to do it. That's fine. You're my friend. You do it, I'm there. You don't do it, I'm there. But she acts like she has a box in her hand, and she hands it over to me like this and says, I want you to do Gateway to Dreams there. Well, I had told her I had this idea for this nonprofit. I didn't even know she really remembered. She's like, if you do Gateway to Dreams there, you will help a lot of people. Joy of Goals, she's gone through it almost every year. ESPW, she was part of that. She goes, the things, helping people with their dreams, you can help them. And the first thing and she said, don't say no, but in my head I'm going, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be at a mall. And didn't go ahead and tell her no, but I thought about it for a week. Didn't make any sense to me, so I think it was a Friday morning, I was going to call her and tell her, I don't want to do this. The next morning I woke up, and yes, I hear voices. I heard this voice say, no, you're supposed to do it. It's with the coaches, the community. You're going to bring dreams back. So I called her and told her I was going to do it. Okay, now what the hell am I going to do with I'm sorry for my language, but what am I going to do with Gateway to Dreams? What could it be? I didn't know. So I pulled together groups of, over a 2-day period, I pulled together 4 groups of people, and they came and they brainstormed. Bill was part of it. Cynthia was part of it. Judy was part of it in this room here. And then there was about 40 people over this 2-day period. And took all these ideas, and it was about helping people with their dreams. It was about creating masterminds and community. And then it's like, okay, I have no money to start this. How's this going to work? So I called one of my girlfriends who's in the nonprofit world, and I said, this is what I'm going to do. She says, I want to be the first person to contribute, and she had a $500 check for Gateway to Dreams. When we're doing the brainstorm, Judy Ryan and Tony McMurphy both said, I'll be the first to put in a monthly fee. The furniture, Cynthia Carell got a big kick out of this. We had a design firm that was doing the design work, and they asked me if they could buy the furniture. It was on sale, and we didn't have the money. And I said, no, just wait. We'll wait till we have the money. Well, we're at a meeting. Bill's not there at this particular meeting, but Cynthia's there. And Becky Nolker is giving her report on what's going on with the design work, and she said, oh, and by the way, we bought the furniture. I'm saying, oh my God, we only have $500 in the bank. How much was it? Oh, it's $1,000. I put it on my card. Don't worry about it. We'll get it. And Cynthia's like, your face. Yeah, my face was panicked. Like, what am I going to do? Well, I also made that about me. What am I going to do? Here's this great community. So Cynthia and I end up being over here talking to Bill at lunch, and she's telling Bill, oh, Bill, you should see Karen's face. It was so funny. Yeah, it was so funny. And Bill said, well, how much is it? I said, $1,000. Well, how much is a chair? $100. He wrote a check for $100. I'm telling Sue Martin, another friend of mine, Bill, and she goes, can I give it the $100? She hangs up, calls me back. My husband wants to give $100 for a chair. So people started buying chairs. Anyway, this box here that I brought in is what I call all the miracles. Like, we have a fully functioning store. In fact, it's just almost weekly, it seems like there's some miracle about Gateway to Dreams. So where I'm at right now is we have this nonprofit that's to help the community. We've done a monthly Dream Fest. We've profiled a woman and her husband that are doing a Broadway musical. We've done a group, another one, Gail Gallagher, who's doing a movie here. We've had Marion Brickner. Some of you may remember her from the very beginning of E for E. She did some photography work. She wanted to go to France and photograph the bonobo apes, but we are making a difference in people's dreams. Steve Smart was also one of Karen Libby did the website. Like, there's just been so much community around that. So where it is right now, and Mason, our furniture in there, Mason calls one day and goes, hey, I've got this furniture. It's new. It's in storage. You think you can use it? I don't know. I don't know what it looks like, but I went ahead and said, well, I guess. And it ends up being perfect. It moves around. It's just unbelievable. It's on loan to us. So what Gateway to Dreams is a nonprofit to bring dreams back to America. We have coaches that help members create a plan and connect them to the ideas, information, and introductions to help them with their dreams to come true. We also have this whole thing about being positive. I really believe that that's an important part of life. I just want to say one more thing. We will be hitting corporate America. This was another book given to me, The Dream Manager. It's about going into corporate America and buying into your employees' dreams and what it does. It starts with a janitorial firm that has a 400% turnover, and over a 3-year period, how it became 4% by being invested in the employees' dreams. So, we're going to be taking Glenda Woolley, who's not here today. I think she's in Hawaii right now. Her, Chris Robinson, and another person will be taking Joy of Goals into corporate America to help people with their dreams. We have something called Career Coaching Circles. We have something called Your Collaborative Board. It's all about helping people with their dreams. So I want to ask, how can we help you with your dreams? And don't forget that the people you meet and the books you read can change your life.